right in here I had some paintbrush marks, so I just took this and just tried to get them out. Now if you find yourself not able to, you can always take your hydro seal, paint it on here and stimple it, and then literally just kind of 5 minutes wipe it down. You've always got that extra layer here. Is this a water feature? Is this a pond and I'm just going to shimmer down it? If it is, I'm going to hydro seal it. What about water intrusion we talked about? Your hydro seal is never going to be a bad issue putting it on here. The only caution that we would give you is that don't get into a thick milkshake. As you have a small 1 quart cup of it that's half filled and you're using it, it's a hot day and you're on sidewalk with the masonry here, this stuff is going to thicken up on you. So you got to add some more Stone Tough to keep the viscosity to where it's like thick milk. You start painting hydro seal or your texture as it's drying in the mix, it's going to get thicker and thicker and more tooled and more noticeable. Keep attention to that. At this point, what I want you guys to do is just look around for tooling, any kind of rough texture. Remember what we talked about with the varying degree. I think we were right here. Medium, fine, and coarse. Don't grind everything down to where it's like this. It's going to look odd. It's got to be a variety.
When I do a hydro seal, like on this particular application, do I use the Acryl 60 or do you use that Stone?
No, the Stone Tough is all. That's got to use the triple resin blend is what we've got. Everything from the back of this to the front of this, when it's done, is the same. Okay. In other words, it's compatibility issue. Anybody here, man? You got to be certified. You got to make sure you can do this. No. Look at that, huh?
He just walked right up under him, man.
Come on, take your paw up here and.
We got a crew working for here. A lot of guys last year were building a big water feature and they kept sculpting female body parts in the rocks.
I remember one job we were doing was a swimming pool. I don't know if you guys remember the DVD where we had the swim jet in the big pool, and I was turning on. It was that job there, and this was that Bill Thomas guy, the Big O founder and president. His wife was a very strict woman, and Bubba had made a rock, and it looked like an alien. So he put some rocks in it. He put a mouth, and that's all he put. And it's like we were not texturing. This was just a bulk shape. She saw that, and she goes, "I don't like that. Get that out of there." And then he took the eyes out of it and the mouth, and left it a rock, and she came back the next morning and said, "I don't like that shape. I still see that." So we had to cut that rock and make. You don't want to, like on my one DVDs, you see the gorilla on one, the dinosaur head on the other one. We were painting because the rocks come out. They look like things to you. You'd be surprised, but I would caution you against that. Remain the professional company that has the sophistication and the prestige of that professionalism.
Do it at your own house?
No, I don't do it there. My wife would be not happy. Change that rock. Remember your hand test, right? You just kind of, if there's anything odd.
Screw that got missing.
Well, we can get that.
Kind of see on this one, and this one, they kind of were added to, and it changes here, here, and here. That's almost like a straight across.
Should have brought that texture on the whole rock.
Right. Could have done that.
But, yeah.
I'll tell you what, when you get it stained, you stand back. You know, what you got to do for your customers is make a 20-foot red tape mark and say, "Ma'am, sir, you can only come." No, you can't do that. The 20-foot rule.
Get up and look at that cast rock.
You have it on wheelbarrows and stuff.
Now, see, I see what you're saying, but I don't think that's going to be as big of an issue as you, especially when you get the color. Especially when you get the color. And if it is, I can diminish it right now with hydro seal or more texture. You see how fast this dried? It's going to set up real quick.
So what is in hydro?
It's a cementatious blend of proprietary materials.
How many times in class you get asked that?
Too many. Too many. What's that, a computer on your side there?
Yes, sir.
Seriously, huh? Oh, it's what do they call it, a BlackBerry?
Kind of.
Yeah.
This looks like an actual hole.
It probably is.
He was showing us his drilling technique.
I'm probably just going to have Marcos go over this. Okay, it looks like we're moving on from here now. We're going to let Marcos and Daryl finish that because it's attention-getting stuff. We're now on this one, Skylar. So in other words, we're going to have those critiqued. This here, there's one little mark right here. You say I just go around feeling it to see that it's not
Fibers. We got some fibers.
that. We got a torch. Again, you should have taken this. We had this on wheels. We could have taken this outside. I can get rid of the fiber dead in the grinding stage. Shouldn't be in the texture stage at all. But the torch can be employed right over that. This one, I think, in all cases, is ready to go.
Some wire sticking out over here.
I saw that here, yeah. I did, yeah.
That's better. The grinder revealed it.
Yep, when we took the fiber down.
You want to refire that, or?
Huh?
You want to fire that again?
I'm gonna let the guys do it. So right now, guys, we've textured this, knocked it down. Obviously, we have seen the wire. There's some fibers some other people pointed out. We wouldn't go any further and think about staining until we had those fixed, right? All right. I'm pressing on because yesterday we didn't even get to go to the site. Today I want to make sure we do. All right. What we did here, which, remember yesterday we had taken these and built them here. Today we took them off and the guys wired the tops on. And so I think some of you guys mudded this. Anybody? I didn't think Marcos did it by himself. I think Matt helped him. Okay. So we got this mudded now from the inside like I wanted. So now this is not going to be movable today. But yet we want it textured, right? So today, this was ground already. This is in need of texture. You see what happens when you grind that, how the fibers laid down? You got a close-up on that? The fibers laid down, you're not going to have like over there, because we didn't take it outside, we didn't ground it. You guys just kind of, where's one of those little wheels? You guys just use one of those wheels in your hand, you're not going to get it with that. We did that in here because of the dust. Here, this was taken out and ground with a grinder, and you don't have any hairs now. When you do that slap texture here, you're not going to, oh, I see fibers. Now also, there was wire joining these pieces together. You see any? Well, at some point, whoever did that over there saw wire and just textured over it. You can't texture over wire. You should remove the wire if it's visible, and then you could texture over that. I'll take my grinder, because you realize inside here, the wire's going through this panel, underneath the inside here, and then out again in a twist tied. All right? I prefer it that way. Did you guys catch my drift? Remember when they were doing that rock, how I said, you put the wire through the side you're going to mud. In other words, the prong of it's coming out. I'm twisting it out here. When I put my hand in here to mud, you have those gloves on, you'll get stabbed with the end of a wire. Plus, the wire stops you from that free emission of mud being put on there. It's a speed bump, and it's not going to be helpful to you. So think about that as you're putting your wire in. Put your wire in on the other side that you're not mudding, when permittable. If you can't, then what I'll do is I'll snip those wires down, fold them over to where there's no sharp edge and there's no big speed bump. But if you see wire in the grind, you're supposed to, where the two wires come out, I just cut them right down. I don't try and take it out of this back. I could care less. I just don't want it on the surface. In your grinding, you're going to see that. If you saw a wire, would you leave it? No, you'd take it out. So you're in the grinding stage, and now this textured. I don't think anything else on this needed to be ground. Well, this tape obviously needs to be pulled off in order for us to be able to texture this. What we'll do with this one, though, is this. We've already mixed up texture, and we can do that same thing here. Does anybody not know how to use that paintbrush to make texture? Anybody? Not know how to do it? Did anybody get not a chance to do it?
I didn't get to do it.
You didn't get to do it? No. Well, if you want, do we have any of that mud left, John?
I'm working on it.
Okay. I think also this could be a good time to do that stamping.
What's the pot life on your texture? Like,
It really depends on the day, man.
I mean, as far as like, is there a certain amount of hours?
You know, you can go over there and mix it right now. Because you put too much powder into the liquid, you think the viscosity is workable. You'll walk from the mixing area over to the rock area and it's set up already. Whereas I'll measure my mix, and I know historically what it takes. Like I said, 2.5 quarts to the bucket usually, and that's going to give you a workable life on a day like today of about a half an hour. Although in amongst that, I'm hitting it with the paddle mixer. I may be augmenting it with a little bit of the Stone Tough resin to revive it back to the viscosity that I want.
Somebody told me they were using it up to 3 hours.
No, I wouldn't suggest that.
Well, it's stucco.